Tony Cartledge. Does the person being audited ever see the e-meter move, or is it only the auditor who sees it? And do they actually see movement, or are they making it up? What do you think is going on with the hand contact on the cans and any movement of an e-meter needle? All right, Tony, thanks for this question. Yeah, the e-meter is, of course, a big topic with Scientology. And as far as this question goes, no, the meter is always set up so that the pre-clear, the person who's holding the cans and being audited or being interviewed or being word cleared or whatever they're doing on the e-meter, the person cannot see the needle. Hubbard said this is distracting, and it wasn't always this way. Back in the 50s when meters were first invented, people could sit side by side or you could see the meter, and it wasn't as refined. The techniques of using the e-meter were not quite as refined as they got in the early 60s when Hubbard really kind of clamped down on it and formalized how meters were used. So no, in modern Scientology, no one ever sees the needle, and the reason for that is because Hubbard says that it's distracting, that the person's attention is supposed to be on themselves, their past, their trauma, their mind, and not on the e-meter. And also, they can pretty much tell what's going on the e-meter because the auditor is using the meter to guide and control the session. So clearly, when the auditor asks questions, he's asking the meter. And if there's a response on the meter, then he looks up to the pre-clear and starts asking him questions about it. So in a sec check, for example, you might ask a question, have you ever stolen an apple? Well, you're not asking the person, you're asking the meter. The auditor's looking at the meter and saying, have you ever stolen an apple? And if the meter responds, the auditor looks up and goes, all right, have you ever stolen an apple? So clearly at that point, the pre-clear holding the cans knows, oh, the meter responded, right? That's the assumption. And yes, the needle does move on the dial. It does respond to things, but those responses are random, almost uniformly. They are a result of muscle tension. They are a result of sweat. Micro droplets of sweat can change the responses on the e-meter because what it is reading is reading electrical resistance. It's how much resistance is there to the signal that the meter is sending through the person's, or rather I should say over the person's body. It doesn't actually, the electrical signal doesn't actually penetrate your skin. It just goes over it. And your skin is electrically conductive. It can conduct, electrical flow can go over it. And the degree of resistance that it meets is what is measured on the needle on the dial. So if I ask you questions, if I ask you sharp and pointed questions, then you will have reactions internally and externally. Your hands will move, your muscles will tense up, your skin will sweat, and that will change the resistance of the electrical signal. Internal changes can also cause changes in that signal or in your skin resistance, such as your parasympathetic nervous system going into play. That causes muscle tensions and causes chemical changes in your skin that change the electrical resistance. So a little technical, but that's basically how it works.